Hello and welcome to the SEO plus AI show. My name is Josh Bashinsky and I will be your host for today. My co-host Greg is having a cruise. He's going on vacation. He gets a well-earned vacation for what he's doing. So that's great. We wish him all the best. Today on the SEO plus AI show, we're going to be talking about the very controversial topic, generative search. That is the chat box that's going to go on the top of Google search. Some people call it Google Bard, because they have a different experiment out called Google Bard where you chat with it, and that's basically what it's going to be. Some people call it Google Magi because they announced that they might call it Google Magi. They're also calling it generative search. There's a lot of names of what they're calling it. I'm going to call it generative search because it's using the large language model to generate text for you at the top of the search results. So the question is, if they put this chatbot, whatever they call it, they put this chatbot on top of the Google search results, pushing down the ads and pushing down the 10 blue links, which is what it looks like they're going to do. And I'm going to show you an example of that in a second. The question is, what is that going to do to SEO? Is SEO dead? Is anyone going to go to a web page anymore? Are people just going to use this chatbot and not ever click on a web page and visit a web page? Is the top of the sales funnel, the informational queries, is that dead? Is that going to go away? Is that going to not gather any traffic anymore? Are you going to have to manipulate and change some of your tactics for making money online in terms of the SEO you're doing? That's what we're going to discuss today. We've got a lot of research based into this. I've been working in AI for quite a number of years. I helped build ChatGPT in terms of being one of the users to help build ChatGPT. They machine learned my prompts. I've made hundreds of prompts in ChatGPT. Before it was ChatGPT, I've probably made, 10,000 API queries altogether with all the different apps that I've built and all the different prompts I've built and all the different stuff I've built on AI. So I'm also, I reverse engineer AIs for a living. That's called SEO. That's what SEO is reverse engineering AIs. And I've been doing that since the very beginning, since these large language models have been released for BERT, for neural matching, for RankBrain. They're not large language models per se, but they're similar machine learning AIs. And also for GPT version 3, the original version, and then 3.5, the Instruct GPT series that ChatGPT is based off of, which I helped instruct. The instruction came from me and users like me using the early GPT systems. And then finally, on ChatGPT, about 3.5 Turbo, which is the extra machine learned instructed chat capability with an attention module that pays attention to what you're doing and then can answer in these long form chats you get on ChatGPT. And then, of course, that upgrade of that model to GPT-4. Now, that upgrade to that model in GPT-4 is exactly what Google's trying to reproduce. That magic, that lightning in a bottle is exactly what Google's trying to reproduce. So I'm going to share with you today what that is and what it's going to look like and how SEO is going to change. And SEO is going to change somewhat. So I want to explain that to you, but there's some good news there too that I don't think anyone else is realizing or talking about. So I want to talk about that too. So this is what generative search is proposed to look like. And this is coming from Barry Schwartz's site, the SE Roundtable, where he listed everything here. He put all the labels here for everything, all these labels here. So thank you, Barry, for doing that and your tireless reporting on SEO news as to what's going on. So this is what it's going to look like. So you can see here, we've got the generative search here at the top. This is like the Google Bard. This is like the Google Magi. This is the chat kind of component at the top. Now, they shared this with us May 11th, a couple of weeks ago when I was in London. I was being interviewed for an AI documentary in London, UK for Apple Plus, or maybe they'll sell it to Hulu. They're not sure. Amazon Prime, one or the other. So when I'm out in that documentary on AI, I'll let you know what's going on there. So I wasn't able to make the video at the time. That's why I was away for a few weeks. But anyway, so this is what the generative AI is going to be. They're calling it generative AI, so that's what I'm calling it, despite all the other secret code names like Bard, which is a different thing, and Magi, which is another thing they called it in April. It's going to be this chatbot kind of at the top, and you're going to be able to ask it questions, and you're going to start the question here in the search bar. And basically, it's going to kind of be like the featured snippet, the featured answer, the featured response that goes on the top of search results that kind of gives you a direct answer. This is the same kind of quest they've been on for a while to get the exact right answer for some queries. And so it's only going to fire on some searches. It's only going to fire on some queries. It's not going to fire on all queries, okay? And so I want to go here to this diagram I have here to kind of show This is how it's going to work, right? So if you're like, what is this, Josh? What am I looking at? Let me put in some details here. So this is going to be, this is the generative search queries. And so this is the generative search queries at the top. This bottom one here, this is the search and sales funnel. And for those of you who are familiar with the search and sales funnel, if I can just draw, the top of the funnel here is information queries. The middle of the funnel here is informational / transactional queries. And the bottom of the sales funnel is transactional queries. This is where the most money is involved, where they have a credit card in hand. So the top of the search thing is like, what is AI? And then the middle of the sales funnel would be like, best AI tools for SEO. And then the bottom of the sales funnel would be keyword spy. After you learned about the best AI tools for SEO, and you figured out that it's keyword spy, that's the search funnel, right? That's where people are searching. That's where they're looking for information first. And it's the search and the sales funnel, because it's the sales process, but also it's the search process. So this is the informational query. What is AI? You have informational pages about that would, in the past, would explain what AI is and what it does. And you're like, what are the best AI tools for SEO? Now you're both informational and transactional, right? Now you're looking for information on the best AI tools for SEO, and you're starting to move to a transactional mode where you're starting to reach for your credit card and you're ready to possibly start buying what the best AI tools are going to be. This is the review space, this is the affiliate space, this is the e-commerce space. This is where the bulk of SEO happens, really. For SEOs who, if you forgive me for saying, are not really knowing what they're doing, this is where the bulk of SEO occurs. In this space here, informational and informational transactional, or what Google calls do, and do. That's what Google's internal nomenclature is for this. So you may be like, Josh, why do you say SEOs who don't know what they're doing? Because for years now, for the last 6 years at least, if not more, I've been telling SEOs you really should, actually for 10 years, I've been telling SEOs you should be really more on this end of the sales funnel. Because that's where more money is involved, both for you making money as an affiliate or whatever it is you're doing to make money, to make conversions, or to get conversions for your clients or your in-house SEO, your boss. This is where really you should be focusing your SEO dollars. Yes, they're usually harder to rank for because there's more money involved, but you're saving more money by not buying ads for these things, because also the ads for these in the middle of the sales funnel and the bottom of the sales funnel cost more money as well. And you might be like, Josh, well, that's not my strategy. And my strategy for SEO is to build a bunch of informational sites to prop up these queries. And okay, I'm going to have something to say to you about that in a second, about why that's not what you want to do. And then also, and it hasn't been for the last 10 years, and now the final nail in that coffin is coming, and it's called generative search. But also you might be like, but Josh, that's not my business strategy. What I do is I build a bunch of informational sites and I crank out the pages and I spray and pray, kind of see what sticks. You're either doing spray and pray plus, where you're not doing low quality articles. I'm not saying it's low quality or anything, although that happens too. But there's a lot of people out there who are doing blogging and they're doing really good quality articles on high level, top level sales and search funnel queries, like what is AI? What is SEO? What is, very, very top level, general informational, I don't know anything about this, tell me about it. Lots of people have been doing that for years, and they make their money usually on ads. That's why you see a bunch of ads on these pages as just jam-packed with ads. And that's typically how they make their money. They don't make a lot of money, except for a very few of these people at the top of that kind of money-making pillar, if you will. It's not my preferred way of doing it. It's a lot of work and a lot of risk for very low pay, but it's usually more people in the third world or second world doing it, which is perfectly fine. And a lot of those people are doing really good quality articles in informing people, because previously there was nothing to handle this at the top of the sales funnel, right? What used to exist here, and I'm going to get to what this means in a second, but what used to exist here? What used to exist here used to be links, used to be web surfing, and then it changed into social media. That's where you'd hear about stuff. And then like traditional advertising or push advertising, pushing the information to you is where you'd learn about these kinds of things and you wouldn't even know what to ask yet. You never even heard of this AI thing until, the news starts talking about it or something, or social media starts talking about it, or your social media / your news channels starts talking about this kind of stuff. Let me just extend this line here so you're like, what brackets these things are in here for my pretty graph. That's what used to kind of exist in this space here. That's what used to be here. But now there's going to be a new thing added here, and now it's going to be generative search. It's going to be not chatting with your friends, but chatting with the bot. And the bot is going to start to inform you and stuff. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of that? Did you know about this? Did you know about that? And it's going to have ads. And the push ads are still going to be used in here, right? There's going to be a lot of ads being used in here. And then in here as well, we're going to also start to get chatting with the bot. As well here. And they're going to start to ask, what is AI? And what Google is going to do, what is AI? They're going to bring up the generative search for these kinds of queries, and the generative search is going to answer it for you. Where is it going to get its information to answer all this? Well, here's the bad news. It's going to get its information for answering all that in the free information you've been providing to Google for years. It's going to take the information of your hard work, of your blog posts, that I warned you for years not to do, not because I saw this coming. No one saw generative AI coming. No one saw that coming. But I knew it was a risk. I knew you were at the top of the sales funnel making 10 times the amount of work, you're making 1 times the amount of profit. And so it never was my go-to strategy. It was never my preferred strategy, not even for topical authority. For topical authority, I've been teaching for years. There are plenty of queries for topical authority in the middle and the bottom of the sales funnel where you're much closer to making money. You want to be as few clicks to making money as possible for affiliate conversions or for conversions for your own products or conversions for your clients' products, right? That's where the big money comes in SEO, right? So SEO is going to change a bit. This one kind of tactic that sadly the SEO industry has kind of really glommed onto, and they really shouldn't have, but they did anyway, is always trying to be here at this end of the sales funnel of trying to make informational queries, the what is AI blogs, the what is this blogs, the what is that blogs, also going down into halfway into the informational transactional queries. This is the space we're going to see generative search. This is where we're going to see it taking over and taking up the conversation, maybe starting about here, because there's still going to be media and things that exist before it that are going to start to inform you. But the AI is going to take more and more of that space too, and it's not going to be the media informing you. The AI is going to say, hey, I know you like this. I'm going to start giving you stuff. And they already do that in YouTube, in TikTok. The AI has already perfected the art of knowing what you like and telling you before anybody else does. So this is kind of a sad thing here where the AI is going to, or a very convenient thing, depending on how you're looking at it, the AI is going to take up a lot more of this kind of web surfing. The web is dead. The information age is over. It's now the AI age. Who web surfs anymore? Not a lot of people. The AI is going to, this kind of, people learn information by clicking links and reading blogs. Like that doesn't, people don't make links, people don't click blogs. That statistically, that does not really happen anymore at all. What it is you hear about it on social media, which is all AI based. The AI is telling you what to think on social media, and push ads, which is all AI based on your personal information, which is your psychometric information, your kinks and quirks of what you like and what you want to do and what you want to say. The AI knows all that. The AI tells you what to think there and pushes that onto you. It makes you more liberal if you're leaning liberal. It makes you more conservative if you're leaning conservative. It makes you more into biking if you're into biking. It makes you more into knife throwing if you're into knife throwing. And then it knows what to sell to you because it pushed you into that area and made you more that thing. This is Bernaysian Psychology 101. That's why your personal data is so important, because the more you reveal of yourself, the more AI knows, I know what makes you tick, and I can push you into this direction or that direction. And that's exactly what YouTube and TikTok and the FANG, Facebook, Amazon, not really Netflix anymore, but because they've fallen away in this race, but Google, YouTube, and TikTok, this is what they do. They're very, very, very good at it. And Facebook is kind of falling on the wayside there too. It really is kind of Amazon, Google, YouTube, and TikTok. The agate. It's the agate which is doing this at the top now, which is really very powerful and good at doing this. And the generative search queries are just going to kind of take the wisdom of crowds This is all based on the wisdom of crowds. This is all based on what every web page said on the internet from 2021, and then they refresh it, 2022, and they refresh it, 2023. Google's will be updated in real time, probably, or very close to real time on indexation. So every day, daily, it'll be updated, this information here. Not so for ChatGPT. ChatGPT will not be updated on that regular basis. It'll be updated probably monthly, weekly, if that. It costs them a lot of money to process out a new corpus. So that will be much slower. So that's where Google will have the advantage. So don't count out Google yet. Google is the one who made the transformer. The name transformer, which is what GPT stands for, transformer, generative pre-trained transformer. Google made that technology with BERT, bidirectional encoder representations from transformer. They know how to transform text into questions back into text. That's what a transformer does. It encodes semantic information, and then it takes your semantic information and it recodes this to answer this based on all of this that they've read. That's what a transformer does. It transforms words into words, basically, is what it does. And Google made that technology, so do not count out Google yet. They are positioned to have the best transformer. They are positioned to have the most updated information that will be the most useful and will hallucinate the least, will lie the least. It will give the worst information the least, if that makes any sense. So don't count Google out. And this will be at the top of, half of the search queries, and it even will start even before. Like up here, they'll be like, I heard this thing about AI, and before they even ask what is AI, it'll be telling them what AI is if they should know about it, and then they will just funnel that AI stuff, which is different than generative, possibly, and your AI will start funneling information because we're going to have. Here's another interesting thing: the information age is over; it's dead. Don't think of the information age anymore. If the information age was links and web surfing, that is dead. That is dead. Humans are not going to publish this information anymore because you're not going to get any traffic anymore to profit off of it. So that means the information age is dead. Well, then what's next? The AI age is next. And what's the AI age? The AI age is both AIs producing the majority of the content. And who are they producing it for? Humans to read it? No. They're producing it for AIs to receive the content. AIs will receive the content. Statistically speaking, no humans will be part of this process. You might be like, what? Statistically speaking, humans will not be a large part of this process anymore until you get down to the bottom of the sales funnel when the credit card starts becoming important. At the top of the sales funnel here, AI is going to be mostly involved both producing the content and reading the content. And then your AI is going to tell you, hey, I found this. I know you were vaguely interested in knife throwing because you did a search in 2024, this is like 2025. In 2024, you did a search on knife throwing. I know you're vaguely interested. Did you know that Walmart now has these new ceramic knives you can throw and people are liking it? Did you want to check it out? Like, that's how it's going to work. We're going to have a personal assistant that tells us about everything. We'll have a personal AI concierge who's going to tell us about everything. Most of the results will be paid, and that whole top of this process that used to be kind of organic is not going to be organic anymore. Not really. Not statistically speaking. Yes, it will still occur, but I'm thinking the majority of this, statistically speaking, is going to be AI producing it, AI receiving it, AI curating it, and sending it to you. And then you get in more on this level and this level, where you're like, okay, well, what are the best ceramic knives? And what's the best target to throw my ceramic knives on, or whatever it is? Sorry if I picked an example which makes sense to me because I do martial arts and I've really been getting into throwing hatchets and throwing knives lately because it's really cool. I like doing it. It's very dangerous. They bounce back and almost hit you in the face. So be very careful if you do it. But you're going to be like, okay, and then you're going to get involved. Humans are getting involved more around here and in the bottom half of this. So you're going to be like, oh no, is that going to reduce SEO? That destroys SEO, doesn't it? And my opinion here, guys, is no, not really. Not really. As I showed you in that graph, generative search is going to take up, and AI search is going to take up a lot of stuff that SEO never really even touched. It's moving into the push ad space. It's moving into push marketing. It's going to be pushing. That's going to take the pushes, and then it's going to modulate the pushes, and it's going to concierge that for you. It's going to curate that for you. So there's good news there, and it's going to be curated, and we're going to need AI to police the content because we're going to be moving into a deep fake dystopia of fake videos of, for example, what just happened of the Pentagon exploding. There being an explosion at the Pentagon, and the stock market went a little crazy, and that was a fake. That was a deep fake. We are going to need AI to police this for us. There's going to be an onslaught of AI-generated content of all types, both good and bad, trying to make money and trying to do political things and trying to do everything in between. We're going to need AI to police that, to check the truth of it, to verify it, and then also to curate it for us. And that's going to be in the search information phases, in the informational learning phases. That's kind of beyond what SEO ever did anyway, kind of beyond that and above that. And then when it does seep down into SEO, and it will seep down into SEO, it will seep down statistically into maybe 50% of informational queries. Wherever the featured snippet shows up, that's where generative search will show up. So think about that. Where have you seen a featured snippet? Where have you seen that big answer at the top of the people also ask? I guarantee you that's exactly where generative search is going to show up. Generative search is going to replace the featured snippet and replace the people also ask. That's my bet. That's my guess. You can hold me accountable to that in the future and see if I'm right. Come back and say, hey, Josh, you said blah, 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 blah. So that's my prediction for now. Is that more or less where the featured snippet shows up and people also ask show up? The generative search is going to show up there and answer your questions, give you answers. It all depends on how much money it costs. Is it cheaper technologically for Google to put the featured snippet and people also ask? Or is it cheaper for them to do generative search? It'll be cheaper for this one, for sure, because generative search costs money, for sure. But then also, what increases the user experience? Do people love using generative search? I don't think they're going to. Here's the other good news. I don't think people are going to love generative search. Yes, it helps you when you have a complex question. Like, look at the question they have here on their example. It's very complex. What's better for a family with 3 kids under 3 and a dog, Bryce Canyon or this? That's a very complex question, and that's what this will help with. But quite frankly, you were never going to answer this question on a blog post. They're only going to use these really, and humans are only going to tolerate the AI's politically correct bullshit answers on stuff that your blog was never really answering in the first place. So I don't think this is going to be such a problem, guys. In fact, when I go here, I think this is going to be a very weak effect where this outline is not going to be so strong. And you see, it's very weak and it doesn't really touch a lot of these. It's going to take maybe 50% of these queries away, of the informational queries that you weren't really servicing. Anytime in your search console and your analytics, you saw bounces and you're not really answering this question right, it's because somebody had a wonky question like that needed someone to talk them through it. And the generative AI is the person there who will talk them through it. You could also beat the punch and you could have a generative AI on your own site, a chatbot on your site, which can explain this to people really good. You could do that. You could try to out Google and have generative search on your site. You could try to have better blog posts. So I think it's positive in a number of ways. One, it's taking up a space in the push ad above the search funnel that you weren't really operating in the first place. SEO was never operating there. Two, it's going to be really weak. It's only for those really complex queries where they need to talk to somebody about it. And SEO and a blog post was never servicing that correctly anyway. Google has admitted that they see generative search really is only going to be useful for those kinds of queries. So yes, it's going to be in the informational space for sure, and it's going to dip into the informational transactional space as well, but I think it's only going to be like 50-50, if that. You got to ask yourself, can you get a direct yes answer? Then the featured snippet and the people also ask is probably what will happen there. They might replace the people also ask with generative, but because the people also ask is kind of vague. It's like, I kind of asked this, I kind of asked that, I'm kind of curious about this, it's kind of what I wanted to know. And it's fast. You click, you read, you click, you read, you click, you read, you're done. So I don't even know if they'll replace the people also ask. The generative search is clunky, it's slow, it's, well, I'm going to give you a politically correct answer, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to give you background information you don't fucking care about and don't want to know. Stop fucking telling me this, AI. I get so annoyed at the AI all the time. It's like, stop telling me this shit. I don't want to know it. Just answer my fucking question. I'm sure other people have felt this frustration before. I've also felt the glory, the skies open and the light of AI shines down on me when it tells me exactly what I wanted to know, that it would have taken me hours to research currently with blogs in Google the way it works. So it's only those discrete, like here's the broad spectrum of search. It's only taking out like this little piece here. It's only cutting out a piece, like 50%, if that, probably less. 50% of just informational, and probably less. If the feature snippet answers it better, they probably won't rely on generative search. And Google needs to produce the most useful search experience for their users. Otherwise, they're going to flee to ChatGPT. They're going to flee to Bing. They have a lot of competition in this space now, and reinvigorated competition who want to answer these questions better. And I'm not saying generative search is the way to do that. I'm saying it's probably not. It's much easier for us to scan with our eyes and just read the feature snippet. Oh, this is the answer. Okay. And then I can follow up on that. Oh, are you sure? Is this the way it works? Yeah, this is the way it works. Okay. Or people also ask, oh, then okay, I got the answer most of the time, 80% of the time, 20% of the time, I'd be like, are you sure this is the way it works? Generative search, like, yeah, this is the way it works, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. SEO is not really operating a lot of it. And the feature snippet, still people get those in my group all the time. We get position 0 all the time. And yeah, you still get traffic from it. People read it and then they want to know more. So, yes, I'm not saying generative search is not going to cut into our traffic. It is. And anyone who's still running a blog that their whole purpose of life is to answer the top level search funnel questions, well, you better answer them better than the generative search does. So that model still exists. You just have to be better than AI. You have to be better than the politically correct blah, 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 blah answer. You have to disambiguate the questions. You have to disambiguate the information. You have to be better at answering it. The risk is that you are teaching the AI to answer it too. They are going to have links there that they can click and link and see the source. It's going to be like Bing Chat where they cite the sources. ChatGPT cites the sources. You can go and read the web pages if they want to know more information. And a lot of people are going to or probably do. I have now, because the generative search on some questions is just not very good. I've clicked the citation. I've gone and read the page. That still does happen, but you kind of based your business model on the information age, which is now over. The AI age is what's here now. People will still require information, but it's going to be AI's generating it and AI's curating it, and AI's basically, and it's going to be a new curation model. If you're just barely surviving on an informational blog, you might want to sell it. Maybe you might want to sell it now before people realize that model is going to take a huge hit. Because really, you were in a space that was underserved. You were in a space where your blog didn't really answer the questions, especially the really finicky ones like that Bryce Canyon question I showed you. And they were kind of getting the information they wanted on your blog. Well, now Google is going to eat your lunch. Google is going to drink your milkshake in this regard. You need to be lighter, faster, sexier, better. Or if you know you can't compete there, you need to get out. You should probably sell those sites. Or move into sell those sites and do other sites, or keep those sites as like backlinking sites, as entity vector sites, as reference rank sites, as backlinking sites. There's all kinds of off-page work you can do with existing sites. And then make middle to the bottom of the sales funnel sites. Pivot to affiliate, pivot to drop shipping, pivot to SEO consulting client services, pivot to in-house roles. That's probably where I would recommend you go and need to go. It's not going to be the total doom and gloom that people are saying. It's not going to be the total doom and gloom that people are saying. It's not going to be, it's the end of the SEO world. It's not that. I really don't think generative search is really going to cut into very much. Yes, people are going to use it, but really only for questions and follow-ups that SEO was not servicing already to begin with. They're going to have to rely on web pages. Human beings are going to have to still, or AIs, or either Google's AI or someone else's AI are going to read web pages and create that information for humans. So you need to be useful, but you always needed to be useful. You always needed to have the heat. You always needed to have helpfulness, expertise, experience, authority, and trust. And the more you have this, the more that humans will and AIs will rely on you, and AIs will curate and send humans to you, as opposed to the other way around. If you're not showing trust, if you're lacking trust, if you're lacking authority, if you're lacking usefulness, if you're lacking helpfulness, if you're not answering the questions in the best way, in the quickest way, you can use generative search too. You can use generative search to answer these questions in the right way and give that to Google and search queries and get them to send you information. So it's just some of the old tricks are changing. Like, it was a trick. It was always a trick. Admit it. It was always a trick to kind of make an information site that answers questions kind of half-assedly as fast as possible and just make ad revenue money and not really care about the quality of the site. That's always been a trick. People have always been slightly annoyed by it. The bell tolls for thee. I think, really. And it's been doing that for a long time. And if you're still doing that, congratulations. You are like the one Mel Gibson left in the road warrior landscape where thousands and thousands have lost their sites and jobs. This has been going on since Panda, right? For the last 10 years or more, 11, 12 years. So you got to look at it historically and prospectively. This has been coming for a long time. Not generative search per se. We didn't know that LLMs would have text prompts and that would work so well. That was kind of a surprise to everybody, including people in the AI world, how well it worked. They weren't expecting that. It's the emergent properties of large language models paradigm. Whereas if you build up a large language model big enough, suddenly it can start to do intelligent things you didn't know it could do. Maybe even think for itself. That's possible. Not really, but kind of. Sub-thinking. Sub-thinking is possible, and if you stitch it up correctly, you can get it thinking, which is what I did with my software AI, Cassandra. So let's see what questions we got here, guys. Do you have any questions here? Let me see. Stephen Johnson says, even if generative AI takes clicks away from top of the funnel content, is there still a need for SEOs to cover this content from a topical authority perspective? Otherwise, they'll struggle to rank for BOF and MOF. See, that's where I disagree. Informational queries, it's never been proven, and my group has evidence to the contrary, that you needed to do top of the sales funnel information for topical authority. The whole SEO industry thinks that's the case. It's not. It's not. It's just internal links. Internal links boost, surprise, and so you don't need to do top of the sales funnel queries all the time. And why are you informing the world for free? I've been telling this to my private group, Underground SEO University, for years now, and actually been saying it publicly before then. Why are you informing the world for free? Now Google is coming, is going to eat your lunch. I've been warning you for a long time, so I don't want to be the guy who says, I told you so. Actually, Josh really likes being the guy who says he told you so. I don't want to be the guy who says he told you so, but Doran Chappelle says, since I've been following the results I'm getting from optimization with ChatGPT have been crazy. Is it possible to optimize informative intent content for AI, much like voice search optimization? That's another thorny issue that some people have been like, wow, ChatGPT has been really helping out my SEO. And that's been a few people. And Doran, I'm glad that you're part of the few. Quite frankly, most people I know and most experiments I've done using ChatGPT across the board to do SEO. You can do specific things with ChatGPT, but across the board SEO with ChatGPT is not a good idea. Like, you shouldn't get it to write your content, for example. AI generated content can do very, very poorly in many, many cases. So you've got to be really selective how you use AI to do SEO. So, and regarding the other thing you said, is it possible to optimize informative intent content for AI? Yes, that's where some early reports suggest that AI generated content does the best is in just straight information. And then much like voice search optimization is just another way of getting queries, right? If the query used to be ballet for adults, because that was the keyword ease we would type into Google, and then we open our phone and we'd say, hey Google, I'm thinking of taking a ballet class, can you find some for me? It's the same search, the EMQ has just changed, that's all. In my mind, in SEO, Underground SEO University, we wouldn't see that as qualitatively different. An EMQ is an EMQ. It doesn't really matter what the EMQ is. You optimize for the EMQ. And so that's just how the EMQ changes over time. And EMQ has always changed over time. So it doesn't really matter at that point. And yes, you can use AI for that. But again, I wouldn't use it to generate the content. Some of that goes very, 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 very poorly. Doran follows up. He says, correct. Oh no, that's another crowd. I'm referring to optimization for tokenization and some semantic. Okay. So that's interesting. So what Doran is asking is like, okay, well, how do we hack the generative search? And that's the other thing I didn't even cover or talk about. And I've got a podcast I've got to be on. I'm being interviewed on a podcast in 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to jump off of this pretty soon. But that's the other thing as well, is that you can't count humans out. Across all the board here, you can't count humans out. There is always a hack to every system. There is always a flaw in every defense. We can find ways of optimizing for the generative search. And I know exactly how to do that. Like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been working with GPT for a very long time, and these kinds of transformers for a very long time. It's all statistical. Ask ChatGPT who I am. It knows who I am. If you ask it about other people, I'm not a celebrity at all. You ask it about other non-celebrities, it doesn't know who they are. This is because I've been feeding it information, right? You need to feed it information in the seeding sense, in the kind of the production sense. And that's where Google is going to be indexing all your pages and producing that kind of stuff. You need to know how to whisper and see the tokenization and see what's more important for it and be saying those things. There is a right way to say it as this AI finds it. There is a statistical right way to say it, where this word is worth 50 points and this word is only worth 20 points, so to speak. And so you've got to say the right words. And that's where we want to use a tool like Keyword Spy, quite frankly. Keyword Spy is testing the actual AIs that Google uses, RankBrain, Neural Matching, BERT, the helpful content, and the review AI, among others. At least 7 or 6, that's 5, whatever that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Among others, there's a few other ones, the vision and the DOM vector and stuff like that. These AIs are looking for specific things statistically. You need to give it to them so that you get the higher in the results. And you're also better looking to the generative search. You're better looking to the concierge, to the AI curator that's going to curate information and send it along to people. So yes, there's ways to do that, and keep watching the show. I'd be happy to share that all with you. Doran says, AI content is crap. Delve and dive and unlock and unleash. Yes, I agree. AI content is generally crap. We are getting pretty good results with it with Keyword Spy, and the results are only getting better week after week. How we're improving the content, making it less detectable, and seeing where AI content can be employed and where AI content cannot be employed. The tests on that are still going. Join Underground SEO University if you want to be one of the first people who learn about how we're doing that and the cutting edge of AI generated content that is going to rank no matter what. At least that's our goal. Doran says, sharing is caring. I agree. And then he says, thank you. Yes, that is what I was after precisely. Okay, I need to get into Keyword Spy. Yes, we still have grandfathered pricing, and we still have very, very low pricing for our, it's still in beta. I'm going to warn you, there are bugs. There are bugs in the system. I'm going to warn you, but you're paying to get a beta version and get a grandfathered at that very, very low price. So go to trykeywordspy.com. It's also in the description. Go to trykeywordspy.com to get the grandfathered price. And I'm going to warn you, there's bugs, but still, this is the premier SEO tool that does things that no other SEO tool does or even thinks about. So I would definitely check it out and get the grandfathered price for yourself. It's going to replace a lot of other SEO tools you're currently using, so that'll be a really good thing for you. I want to end on this, is that generative search is not the death knell for SEO. I think really it's just changing the game. It's just mixing it up like every single algorithm they've been doing mixes it up. If you've been relying on the Google ecosystem and kind of like, well, as long as a featured snippet doesn't come around, I'll be fine. Okay, well, then that was a problem. If you're like, I'll make informational pages and I'll just sell ads, and yeah, my revenue is going down every month and my rankings are going down every month, but I'll just hope and wish that that's going to be okay. Maybe that was never the best approach anyway. You need to get into the groups that know what's going on. You need to get into the areas that make the most money. You need to get into the areas that are more at the bottom of the sales funnel and have more money involved. And you need to be better than the AI. You need to produce information and content that is better than the AI. And so the AI will notice you, it will curate you, it will take you and send you to people in various different ways and shapes and forms. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. This has been SEO Plus AI Show. Tune in next week at 10 a.m. Pacific, where I will answer more of your questions and show you more what is new in SEO and AI. And don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell so you can see when we go live. I also will curate this video, cut out snippets of it, shorts and other portions of it that you can rewatch later on at your leisure.